Okay, welcome to the episode 52 of the
52.
Coffee and Conspiracy podcast. We are joined by lots of fun new people. Can everyone introduce themselves? Well, Danny's not new anymore. So
No, I've been broken in. I'm Danny Reimer.
Leela Marvel.
Jamie Rexford.
Nicole.
and we all know Stephen.
Hi.
So
Hello.
we just had quite the interesting evening. We did some paranormal research on Stephen's residency. You care to fill us in since you never talk that much on our podcast, Stephen?
I talk all the time.
You don't.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
No, it was pretty interesting. And there was a couple things that were just like, wow. Little, you know what I mean? Like some voices and stuff. Names that were, said.
Yeah, there's definitely a few things I think that we have to decipher through all this, but it was definitely interesting just to see. I kind of want to hear from you guys, though. I want to know, like, how you got into it and, what made you decide that you want to, go around and investigate and try and learn from all this. Who wants to start?
I'll start. This is Leela. I got into the paranormal just from having an experience from when I was like 10 or 11. My dad's house, which was built by my great-grandparents, and it's not like an old house. It doesn't have to be an old house to be haunted. But I had gone upstairs to get some clothes for my grandmother, and this like little heater from like the one of those plug-in kind that the coals turn red. I turned around and it turned on by itself, and checked the cord, wasn't plugged in. So that was kind of like my first kind of introduction, and of course I didn't know what the hell was going on, and I didn't tell anybody or anything like that. But and then I just watching a lot of shows and kind of getting curious as a teenager, and then I met Danny a few years ago through the Oddporium. And then,
That's like the hub. The Oddporium's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
hub,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Oddporium. That is the hub.
They're pretty cool people.
They are.
Very good people.
They're
Yeah.
awesome people.
Me?
Yeah.
My husband, Jamie, by the way. My husband told me I needed to get a hobby. He DJs all the time, and his life is music, and I was just sitting around doing nothing. So, I started looking online for ghost hunting things just because I was curious to see if there was anything in Delaware. And I found Delaware Historic Haunts, and I was with them for a little while. And then their owner, like founder, passed away. I left before he passed away though. And right now I work with the Delaware City Ghost Hunters. And Danny and I had met at the Oddporium, the wondrous Oddporium.
I know. It's like it really is
It's like
the
the
hub.
nexus of
Like
time.
it is.
And we got to chatting, and he asked me if I would tag along, and here I am with Danny's group.
Yeah, we're always looking for new people and new cases. If you have an interest in the paranormal, we'd love to talk to you. And yeah.
How much of a vetting process do you have to go through with people? Like, just out of curiosity, I'm sure that you get some people that are like really, it's without naming names at all,
Yeah.
but just
I like to meet people in
Yeah.
person, get a feel for them. Usually, like, hey, let's go grab a plate to eat. It's the best way to get to know someone.
Yeah, true.
And normally, there's a series of questions we ask. Why are you interested in this? What would you like to get out of this? And you definitely want to make sure they're good people because you're going into people's residence. You're going into historic locations. You talk to people that know these people. Like, this is a good person, but usually it's a gut feeling. You kind of, you feel whether a person's, cut out for this or not.
You can read people well.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
You're like an empath.
Yeah. Well, to like, Nikki, I went to school with. Jamie and Leela, I met at the Oddporium. Kristyn and Steve, I met at, so I've met I've met people there that I kind of go,
yeah,
they
absolutely.
live their life, I live my life, and our paths don't cross, and I'm okay with that. But it's it's you know somebody's on the level or not. Yeah. It's really hard. So the vetting process. You talk to the person a couple of times, you get their background. You know, you may or may not run background checks on people.
Or
Maybe.
stalk their like, Facebook page.
There are some weird people.
Well, I can say I've honestly I don't.
Stalking Facebook isn't too bad. You can really find out a lot about
Oh
a
my,
person.
okay,
You can.
you really can.
You really can.
That's on job applications now, and this
Yes.
is so funny because my friend is, I mean, okay, with daycare, I know that it is important for that because of taking care of people's children. But on there, you know, to sign the disclaimer, it said that they had full right to look at any of their profiles on various social networking sites and all that. And that was, I mean, that was never on job applications before.
It's become a
There it
thing.
is now.
So, I mean, you better make your shit private if you don't want anybody to see it, because it's, you know, they do pay very close attention to what you post out there. It can come back to haunt you.
Yes.
Really.
Yeah.
I've had a
Oh, look what I did there.
I mean, almost every time I find somebody who's done a criminal thing, like in my neighborhood, or like, you know, the other day some guy got arrested in my neighborhood. I'm right on Facebook.
Yeah, it's usually sometimes on Facebook faster than it is on like in the news or whatever.
Yeah.
I got to find out when I go home because on our way here there were 5 cop cars
And then
Oh,
a bunch
right, yeah.
standing out front.
and 4 or 5 officers outside of one of the houses at the end of our street.
Wow.
There might be ghosts hunting over there.
But our street's pretty has a weird history, so we could possibly just walk up and down my street and try to.
Yeah.
I bet you if you went to Old Newcastle, you could probably find out a lot of stuff. There's like, you know, it's one of the first inhabitants of Delaware, and you know.
What's the most random place you've had to go that wasn't like a house?
Random.
Mostly me, it's just all residences that I mean.
It's been all
I've done
residences.
firehouses. I've done
Yeah.
train stations. I've done courthouses. I've done, you know, private residences. Somebody said you guys should go do the Tri-State Mall, and I'm kind of like, I really don't want to walk
I
around
don't
it.
know if you're gonna like what you find over there.
That's why.
Yeah,
It's
I don't know about that.
there's been quite a few murders there. There's
Yeah.
been, you know, it's just
That place does not have the best history
It's
at
bad
all.
energy.
It really is.
Yeah.
And that's what you look in, you know, you stay away from the bad
Stay away
energy and
from
look
the
more
bad
for the
energy.
positive stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was cool to kind of feel, at least with here, that yes, there were possibly people popping in and out to visit, but not, you know, anything that was like, get out, I'm not happy, you know, and it's,
Leave us
you
alone.
but you
Yeah.
expect that sometimes. You're like, oh my God, what am I going to do
You see so many
if they...
movies that
Have you
Yeah.
gotten that before?
we
Get out, yeah. We've
yeah
gone
we,
and
we,
get out.
we've gotten to get out before a couple of times, but the majority of times no, it's mostly what you see in a movie or TV. But we recently had a case where it definitely didn't like that I was a male in this person's room. You know, you want me to leave? Get out. I'm like, all right.
I'm out of here.
Even...
And you
it-
go. You
and it-
go when they want you to go.
It's like anything else.
You gotta respect them.
You know, but the kind of the neat thing about Stephen inviting us into his house this evening was we were able to, you know, debunk a couple of things like right out of the gate, which is the other reason why we do this is to give people back there. You know, this is your house. You have to live here. We don't want it to be a scary place for you to live. If you hear sounds, things like that, you know, there's some electrical issues here that can cause.
Yeah.
You know, some of the one of the rooms we walked into felt heavy. Well, the windows are shut. It's a warm day, but it's stagnant. But you know, when we swept the room, you know, the whole room's active. Yeah, EMF wise, there's a lot of electricity, what they call energy bleed, coming from the wires and the sockets and the, you know, so it's very normal. You know, what you get in a house of this age. You know.
That's what I think it is. I think, too, like you said, this is an older house. I think it naturally is going to have a stuffy feel to it just a little bit. Because that could explain the heaviness that Cassie felt when she was in here.
But the decor is amazing.
Oh, yeah, totally.
But also the neighborhood. It's an older neighborhood.
Yeah.
You also have you have a church right behind you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of energy. People worshiping, you know, coming together.
Oh, they were jamming out about 5 hours ago.
Today's a Sunday, so
Oh, they rock out.
You know,
Like, they rock out like crazy. Like, you're like, wow.
And then you have it's a pretty lively neighborhood.
Mm.
We heard people walking up and down the street
All the time, night and day.
spirited conversations.
Dog. Yo,
What's up,
dog.
dog?
What's up, dog?
What's up, dog? That's Cypher. I'm trying to give you knowledge,
No, it's cover.
culture. No, I'm giving you culture.
Culture.
I'm telling you culture. Son.
Culture. Culture Cypher.
Culture Cypher. But yeah, this is just something we do. You know, it's fun for us.
Is there, for each one of you, is there like a dream place that you would like to explore, like anywhere in the world that it would be? That you would just really like to get into?
I would love to go to like the castles in Germany and all that, but I don't speak the language. And it always cracked me up when I'd watch these shows on TV. You'd have English ghost hunters in foreign countries asking questions
Did
in
you
English.
see that they were giving away free castles in
Yes, they
Italy?
No.
Yeah.
Just
Yes,
saying,
they were.
yes,
Wow.
they are.
It was like super cheap to go.
There's a little catch to it.
What's the catch?
Yeah.
That you have to you have to do something with it to boost tourism in the region. So you have to turn it into something.
Haunted bed and breakfast.
Want a bed and breakfast?
Nice idea.
See, we got it.
Every time I see something like that, like for free or for sale.
But that's it. That's
Like
really
Did you see that village? Was it in Virginia?
yes.
It
It's like an old
$1.9
yeah.
million for a whole town.
Yep.
I'm like, haunted bed and breakfast town. Let's go for it.
You could do the whole
You
the
could
whole
do
town.
That's pretty
$1.9
crazy.
million.
So there, you
Anybody
could
wants
have
to
a
invest in that.
you could have a castle in Italy for free. Just saying.
He deal with stuff, but you know.
Yeah.
Just
It's very drafty.
yeah. Details.
So, Kristyn and Stephen, what did you feel? How did you like having us come in? And
I appreciate you coming in. So it's good to know that like there's no bad energy. You know what I mean?
I think that I feel more relieved now, like honestly, because I had like a lot of trepidation with like wanting to move in here and stuff, just not know, where I'm like, oh, how much am I going to be invading a territory or something like that? Just being like a new person coming into it, and I've only recently. We just got a new bed, so like I've only recently stayed over here for because he had a twin bed at 30-some years
what are you
old.
talking
But
about?
like we're just gonna go there.
That's gonna be the lead.
But it's I feel better to know that there isn't like a negativity hanging around.
I don't think anybody feel
No, I
anything.
don't feel
I
like
didn't even ask,
Yeah.
nothing.
No, thank you guys so much
Well,
for
well,
coming.
well,
we
you
appreciate
didn't finish
it.
You didn't
I'm
finish.
not done. I'm just saying thank you for coming. Go ahead.
Well, the rest of they didn't tell.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, our dream place?
Yeah.
The dream place of like where you would want to go.
It's like super cliche, but I always wanted to go like to the Winchester Mansion. Just
Oh.
like the architecture and the decor is super cool, and just the secret doors that lead to
Absolutely
death
nothing.
and,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff is very intriguing. So probably there.
There's
Nice.
so many places.
I mean,
There is some places.
you know,
Well,
coal
which-
mines and
Oh,
all
yeah.
that stuff would be super.
I always wanted to go into one of those crystal caves that you like in Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
That's like miles down
Yeah,
in the air.
yeah.
I was like,
Good
wow.
trip.
Yeah.
It's not that far away.
No.
New Orleans is the best ever.
What'd you say?
I said New Orleans is the
Oh
best.
yeah,
The
I'm going
best.
there in the fall for
Excuse
like
me.
a bachelorette, but it's like,
Favorite place in the whole world.
It's like my soul city. Yeah.
I know that this is super cliche, but I've always wanted to go to the Amityville house.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's
Like
so,
that's a,
That's not
Feel
that
the
far away
vibe.
either. The people live there.
and it's
Mhm.
is it for sale again?
I don't
It
think
comes
so.
up every now and then. I think it's sold. But I have friends that live in Long Island, right near them. And we go to a park.
Yeah, my
all-
friend like walks by there.
Yeah, Cedar Creek Park is right up
If
there.
they're friends, find out if we can just pop
I don't know if
in
they're
there.
friends with them, but every
Yeah,
time we
be
go
like,
to Cedar
"Hey."
Creek Park, I'm like, oh, there.
But there's like Chicago. I would love to go to Chicago and go to spots. Because you have the Valentine's Day Massacre. You got Al Capone. You got Mom.
Mm.
And all that. Same thing.
there too.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas is pretty good. Vegas is pretty neat.
I don't know how
There-
much stuff would get accomplished in Vegas.
That one place,
Yeah.
you gotta stay overnight.
Yes.
So we stayed at the Oak Quartez, which is one of the most haunted.
Oh, okay.
hotel casinos. And it's in Old Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Fremont Street.
Yep,
Yep.
right off of Fremont.
I love Vegas.
So there's been a lot of suicides and things like that. Vegas is full of suicides, the hotels. Was it the Lux? Is that the pyramid? They used to have people just jump down onto the playing tables, just commit suicide. So
They lost all their
they put
money.
a net
There's
down.
just
They put a net.
They put a
Wow.
net. And if you notice, like,
Wow,
there's
that's
bars on all the
crazy.
windows, you can't open
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we stayed there. I didn't really get much, but I didn't really know much then, and I didn't have a lot of equipment. So it was a lot. It was a lot of fun. Vegas is. I would go back to Vegas to go. So
nice.
I feel like there's a lot of history there, especially in Old Vegas.
Oh yeah.
I always wanted to go to Ireland.
Yeah.
Stuff over there.
Yeah, there's
Plenty
a
of
lot of stuff.
historical
There,
things there to
Oh,
see.
yeah.
a lot of
Oh my
history.
god, yeah.
Tons.
I have a Vegas story.
Yeah, get
Oh.
Vegas story.
Well, no, 2016. The company I was working for at the time, we always had to exhibit and do an auto show in November, and we always stay at Treasure Island because it's right across from the convention center. So I can
Great,
walk
great
to-
casino.
Oh yeah. Well, I get there, and they give me my room, and then I walk in my room, and I'm like, I don't like my room, which isn't a it's just a room. But it, like, as soon as I walked in, I was kind of like, I don't like this. So I drop my stuff off, go to the convention center, do all my stuff. I come back, get a shower, meet the guys for dinner, and when I came back later that evening, a buddy of mine who lives in California, he has a paranormal group. And so it's like our chance to like get together when we we're sharing stuff and so we're going through EVPs. We're in my room for about 2 hours doing EVPs, pictures, talking all things paranormal. And it started getting late. He's like, all right, I'm getting out of here. So he left, and I'm like, oh well, I'm gonna shave. I got a big day tomorrow. It's started the thing, and I walk into the bathroom and lather up my face, and all of a sudden, all the power goes out, and I'm like,
Wow.
okay, that's kind of weird. And I have shaving cream on, no shirt, boxers. The lights are out, and I kind of look out the bathroom, and I'm like, is it out in the whole building? And I can see there's light under my door, and I make my way to the window and open my blinds, and there's light outside. I'm like, okay, this is weird. And I pick up my phone. I have no dial tone or anything, so I'm like trying to get my face cleaned up, put a shirt on, shorts on to go down to the booth. And I'm like, hey, my power's out. And they send the guy up, and he's and right before the power went on, I had that feeling like someone was behind me, but I didn't see anybody or anything. I'm just like, okay, you're just freaking yourself out, because you're just doing EVPs and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Maintenance guy comes up. He can't figure out why there's no power in my room. So he starts taking outlets and stuff apart, and the one outlet in the bathroom, it looked like somebody had ripped apart. I have no screwdrivers. I'm just here to do a thing. So he thought it was weird. He puts it all back together. Power comes back on. I go back downstairs and I can I please talk to the manager? I'm like, did something happen in my room recently? Like, what, and sure enough, suicide in my room. Gentleman tried to slice his wrists and it didn't work, so he hung himself. But he
Wow.
was one of those. The manager said, yes, there was a death. We can move you. I said, please do. I got a new room. I'm like, okay, everything's fine now. But the weird thing was, the second I walked in, it felt weird.
Yeah.
And then as the night progressed, weird stuff happened. And then to find out that someone did, and it's kind of a brutal death,
Yeah, that is a hard way to go.
I'm surprised they disclosed it to you.
The manager didn't. One of the people at the desk was kind of
yeah,
like,
it could be.
because
Okay.
I kind of pulled my card out. I'm like, yeah, I'm a paranormal investigator. And one of the girls was like, come here. Like, yeah. Evidently a guy, it was in the paper.
Okay.
There was a suicide, and it didn't say which room, but 2 weeks prior to me being there was a suicide at Treasure Island. Police responded, found male dead, kind of thing. Yeah, but evidently it was one of these gambled his life savings away. And go Vegas.
Vegas. They said the in San Francisco. What's that bridge?
Golden Gate.
Golden
Yeah, a lot of people go there to commit suicide.
Oh, yeah.
There's a-
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, remember Delaware Memorial Bridge? Yeah. There's a whole documentary movie about
It's horrible.
the Golden
Yeah, I
Gate.
saw that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a horrible way to go.
I can't imagine.
Every bone in your body pretty much breaks.
Yes.
Yeah, what an awful way. And then the ones that survived too. There's been people that have survived it, and they're either paralyzed or so. It's just terrible.
I think water death freaks me out the most.
Mm.
Drowning.
Yeah,
Me too.
that would
I
yeah.
had dreams about
Drowning in
that.
fire, that scares me the
Yeah.
most.
I'm awfully paranoid of fire. I don't know why, but I'm always afraid something's left on, something's gonna
Yeah,
catch
I
on
know.
fire, like something. Yeah,
Maybe
it's
that's why you got the fire. Oh no, you looked that up, right? The
What's
fire.
that?
You looked it up. There was a fire.
Oh yeah, here, yeah, we looked up. So in the history of the house here, so there was like a fire on the property.
Yes, interesting side note, Steven's a zombie.
yeah.
In some of our research, it was actually his father, but came up, Stephen
Yeah.
passed in 2011. We're
Yeah.
kind of like,
Nah, that.
no, I talked to him Thursday.
That can't be right. That cannot be
I'm
right.
communicating you from that.
Any more questions?
What does the future hold for you guys?
Yeah, what's next?
More investigations, I hope.
Investigations.
Yeah.
Review the evidence, you know.
So from here we review evidence, and then we'll come back and present it to you. And,
Yeah. I look forward to seeing their results.
Yeah.
Nice. Would you like copies of everything?
Yeah, and then just yeah, sure, why not?
Okay.
You do.
Yeah.
Well,
You
actually,
do.
Yeah, you can put together a CD with all
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
DVDs on it.
but that's actually a touchy subject with some of our clients.
Yep.
Really?
They don't. We'll present it to them, and they're like, okay. Well, we have a flash drive. Would you like? Nope, we don't want copies. We're
Wow.
good.
I'm into this stuff, so I would definitely like to have it.
Cool.
But thank you so much for coming over and hanging out and doing
Yeah,
your
we
thing.
appreciate it. It was
super
so
fun.
fun.
Yeah, it's a small world. Steve, Steve.
Yeah.
Please tell us how to get in touch with you
Yeah,
guys
it's funny,
too. Like,
it's like,
are
Steve, I was
you
thinking,
like,
I was
is
like,
it
I
social
gotta
media,
see.
website, that kind of stuff? Plug
Well,
away.
We're working on our like a separate website, but we're on Facebook. Delaware Researchers of the Paranormal. And you can look us up on Facebook. That's the main contact.
You have a cool acronym.
Drop.
Drop.
Paranormal.
Drop
I like
Paranormal.
That's pretty cool.
And you can also stop in the Oddporium.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just
Some-
find us all at the
Yeah.
Oddporium
Yeah.
at some point or another.
That's where we've gotten quite a few of our, or just, it's mostly word of mouth. And the same thing, we have a vetting process when we do investigations. A lot of times we can debunk right over the phone. Everything starts with a phone interview.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then the team gets involved and we talk about, like, do you want to take this case? Or, and if it's something that we can't handle, we contact other groups and see if they want to take it. We're trying to promote Community.
Paranormal community.
Yeah. That's neat.
There's a lot of animosity, I guess,
Yeah.
between groups, and we can't
And
figure
that's,
out
you
why.
know what? This
You
is,
find that
So
anywhere.
we want
Look,
everybody to
you
just
find
get
that
along.
anywhere.
and it doesn't matter what industry you are in or what you do. There's always going to be, because, it's funny coming, like, from a media perspective, I used to go, look, you run this website and I run this website, and why can't we all just make a network
Right.
as a hub? This is wonderful idea. No, because everybody thinks you're going to take something away from them all the time. And it doesn't matter what, and it's so funny that I hear it from, like, another group, too, that it's like, somebody's always got to be alpha. Somebody always has to, like, run the show, and nobody can work together. They have to outdo each other all the time, and it sucks.
Well, a lot of paranormal groups, they're afraid that, well, that's our client, that's our location. A lot of people lay claim to locations. That's here in Delaware. There's certain haunted attractions that are this group, and it just blows my mind because we're all trying to find the same thing. We're trying to prove the existence of life after death with evidence, photographic, recordings, video. We're trying to do more fact-based, science-based. Not just I feel something,
Yeah.
I see something.
We want concrete evidence to back up the paranormal.
Awesome. Well, we'll definitely direct people to check you guys out there. Be
Thank you so
sure
much, guys.
everybody like Coffee and Conspiracy on Facebook. Leave us ratings, rankings, all that fun shit. We love it. So please tune in. Thank you.